says preparing, going live, and I'm live for a couple of seconds until I realize that I'm live. What's going on? Yeah. Let's just check that. Okay, there we go. Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Christina, and this is another episode of the Truth Runners Talk Show. And I'm so really happy and excited because today, again, I have a very special guest, and I'm very excited to have her here again, once again. Welcome, Ivy, to the talk show. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. Today, we are going to talk a lot about Ivy's book, for example, guys. But before we got there, I would love to introduce her. And also, I would love to invite you that during our conversation, whenever you think or you feel, please ask your questions, put the comments, and please give us some hearts just to feel a little bit of love from you guys, okay? So here we go. Ivy is a humanitarian developer. She's a certified holistic NLP coach and mentor. She's a certified emotional geographer. I love that. Speaker and strategist consultant. A community-driven individual who believes that your life is like building a dream home. A member of Association of Black Coaches and founder of Hacks Consultancy, a relationship healing and business accountability hub, with the mission to empower women and communities through coaching and healing pain for transformational empowerment. Ivy is mostly known as the business relationship architect because she brings skills of 15 years experience from the architectural industry to corporate coaching and mentoring arena. She assists individuals and businesses to unlock hidden potential and maximizing performance by believing, encouraging, developing, and leveraging relationships with creative ways and measures, enabling her clients with the power to visualize and recreate the current state within self and habitat, and how to move through the world with eagle-eye analogy. I'm going to put, after this conversation, all the links where you can connect to Ivy, her website, where you can buy her book. And yeah, I think we are ready. Are you ready, Ivy?
Yes, I am indeed. Thank you for that lovely presentation.
I thank you. It's such an amazing journey you've been through, and I always amazed whenever I have, women like you, strong women in my talk show. And now, it's amazing because I always learn something new. And I think you had the feeling at a certain point in your life, oh, why is this happening to me? Why only me? But, having these conversations, I actually realized that it's many of us, really. We went through a lot of things, most of us, most of the women's, right? So I would love first to ask you, Ivy, who is Ivy? Who is the real Ivy? Not all the roles what you are playing.
No, Ivy that you see today is the improved Ivy. I had to detach from the past and moving forward toward the future. But before you can do that, you have to embrace yourself and who you were in your past and in your present in the totality before you can be able to see the person that you're seeing here today in front of you and the audience. Yes, that's what I would say.
And you did a wonderful job because I just want to go, look, guys, what I have. I have a wonderful book, a deep book, actually. And if it's okay with you, Ivy, I would love to talk about your book. From where actually came the idea to write the book, and why hugs? What does hugs mean? What HUG stands for?
Yeah, we start from that. And HUG stands for Heal, Unite, Grow, and Succeed. And in the midst of succeeding, you earn solutions for anything that you're looking for towards your life, your issues, crises, the ups and downs, and taking, lessons learned from there. And it came about it was to honor my journey with my children, actually, because it started with my children and the intricacies of being a mom and how as a mom, you could only embrace the children. And so I had to honor that and make them aware of each instance and each stages of life, why the mother couldn't attach to the children.
But I must say, Ivy, that I've read your book. We are not going to reveal everything what's in the book because I would love you guys to go and buy it. But I'm telling you, Ivy is deep. You went through a hell of a journey, if I can say like this, really. And I have to acknowledge the courage of yours and the willingness, basically, to change. When you realize that you have to change and you want it to change, right? And I love the way how you started, right? Can you tell about this? Just a tiny bit, just scratching the surface. What made you a part of your children? What experiences, and what was that moment in your life, that moment when you said, okay, that's enough?
That moment was, there was a lot of instance, but the moment that I had to address was my lowest moment when, there was a lot of noise around and when my partner walked away. So that was the lowest. And then I had to address myself and I had to pause. I had to choose, in the midst of working in the corporate world, embracing family, embracing community, church, everything. You have to switch off. You have to say, look, it's enough, and you choose yourself. And that is the beginning of the journey. So, and I thank that. And I actually thanked the universe for that, to create in that space, to be sincere. Because if it didn't create that space, a lot of things wouldn't be addressed. So it was from my burnout, actually.
It's true. I love what you're saying because, everything happens in perfect timing. And we have the tendency to think that if, our life is as it is, that, why God, why me? And we blame people and we blame circumstances and, we do what we usually do. But I love when you said that, okay, I realized that I have to put myself first. And also one thing what I would love to mention, that you said that you were in corporate, right?
Yes.
How that worked together. So being in corporate, having the life what you had, and then you changed completely. That is a journey. I mean, that is really, really something. And that was, I guess, the hugs, the hate, the healing period. That was the first stage, I guess, right?
Yes, it is indeed.
Can you
Because you had
just
to
share a
address
little
each
bit about
stage.
the healing?
Yes, because you have to heal from body, mind, and soul. And once you heal from body, mind, and soul, and then you begin to create and stop compartmentalizing things, and create avenues and ways of moving forward. And then get to know yourself and your modus of operating, because your body can like to operate in a certain manner. Your brain can like to operate in a certain manner. Physically you operate in different manners. So once you can be able to, coordinate everything together, you can be able to move accordingly, respecting each part of you, so you can move forward as a whole, as one, in the same right direction, not opposite directions.
I love that, Ivy. And I'm just holding your book, and you said something like this. I truly believe that your own lives. Okay. What do you mean by that? Yes, I know your job, your day job, corporate, you were an architect, right? Mm-hmm. But when you left that, you brought that into your coaching and you blended it together somehow. So what do you mean when you say that I can become the architect of my own life. How can I become an architect of my own life? What should I do for that? I'm no architect. I know nothing about design. I know nothing about buildings. So what do you mean by that?
You know, as individuals, we are born architects, in my own point of view, the way I see it. And women in itself, because women, they create anything that you give into them. They create anything, you know, you give them, you know, some elements they can cook. They create a meal. You give them maybe somewhere and they can create a home in itself. So there's different aspects. So that's why I believe that anybody can be an architect. And me coming from that background, I wanted to implement it in the coaching aspect because there is a lot of issues that we as women and individuals that we either address, and it's all internal. And once it's internal, we live in a home. And when we have those issues and we don't address it, it bounces in the walls of the house. And everybody in that actual, you know, space, if bounces, they have the same effect. So it can actually erupt. So it's just giving people ways for them to navigate their home and utilizing the way of the architects, the way they program, you know, and for example, a plan or map out, you know, the space so we can map out as well our life, you know. So it's all about eliciting, managing, mapping out your emotions within the four walls. So I wanted to express that. And not only that as well, I wanted to use a creative way, you know, coming from the background of architecture and arts, you know, helping individuals extract that and not only extracting it with questions, but extracting it visually and recreating in creative ways in terms of imagining what happened. And they come out from that service that I'm offering with a portrait of self and a journey of journaling their emotions.
Hmm. I love what you're saying, Ivy, and I love the way how you put it. Yes, we are like, houses, really. And we are talking in the book about cracks in those walls. And later on, how to pour gold in those cracks. What do you mean? What did you mean actually when we are talking about cracks? What kind of cracks we are talking about? I know mine. I know. If you are ready, what do you mean by cracks? And how actually you manage it? How can we pour gold on those cracks, really?
I will speak from the background of we're a woman, so because I'm a woman and was addressing mine, that was a way of healing. And
let's say it out loud. A Black woman, say it out loud. It's truth runners. Come
yes,
on.
Yes, I am a Black woman that was raised in Europe and born in Europe and raised in Europe. And sometimes you don't belong sometimes, and your community don't embrace you fully, and then you find yourself wandering around. So in the midst of wandering around, you feel yourself lost and lonely. So that is part of the cracks. And not only we have physical cracks, we have psychological cracks, and we have emotional cracks. So it's all about marinating out everything. And that is, the goal is all about putting, the healing aspects. Because once you have healing, then you can actually fix things, not throwing things away. Because the way sometimes in the society we live today, sometimes when something is cracked or, people throw things away. So we can't throw each other away. So it's all about healing, making things to have a different use and a different meaning and more improved. And things that are cracked, they can be beautiful in a way. That's how I see it myself. Because I myself, I see my journey was beautiful, no matter how much it was ugly. Yeah, but it was beautiful when I look at it today and appreciate that. And yes, and I'm almost somebody that likes to see the beauty within the ugliness of the things. So, so that's why I thought about a lot of that, the cracks. because even the trees have cracks. We have cracks. The walls have cracks. Even when we ourselves, when we have children, we have our cracks in terms of, the birthmark, you see, the stretch marks. And it's all about embracing those aspects, making it to look beautiful in a way and embracing your journey. Because if you don't embrace it, nobody else can embrace it.
I love it, Ivy. What you were actually saying is that embracing fully who you truly really are and love everything about you, the good, the bad, and everything in between. And also, I love the fact that you were talking about cracks. You know why cracks are good? Because there actually the light comes in, right? So think about it this way. Okay, we are in darkness and we need dark, right? Because without the darkness, we actually wouldn't appreciate the light. And about the cracks, what you are talking about, yes, all kind of cracks, physical, emotional, any kind of crack. Maybe we do not recognize at that time. We find it as a burden or a hardship or, oh my God. But on those cracks, actually the light will come in. And the healing part is healing those cracks, embracing those cracks, and yes, putting going and try to make something nice out of it. And yes, I read your book, so I'm stressing this. Guys, please buy this book and read it. It's been a hell of a journey, an amazing journey, and the starting part, the healing part, I guess, is the hardest. Because then, slowly, step by step, when you recognize those cracks, when you're going in and you try to understand and fully embrace you, then actually the rest kind of is unfolds. Okay. Can we? You have an article, a chapter, I'm sorry, which is called "Cracking Open Joy from Trauma." I don't want to go really deep on this because I really would love people to buy your book and make them curious. But how can you crack open joy from trauma? Yes, it is possible. Absolutely, it's possible. What it takes?
It takes guts. It takes sense of you wanted to be free. Because once you open the sensation of a door, because I use a lot of analogies of, from the building sites to do the book. That's what I did because it's coming from the background of architecture. But in terms of a door, when you look at a door, what does the sense of a door do? It means to each person is different. It can be wanting to get into something, or it can be wanting to exit to something. But there's different ways, not only by the door that you can get out. You can be able to crack as well, open the walls for you to get out of that house or get inside or get into the house. And sometimes once you want to get in or want to exit or come in, sometimes it's difficult, that aspect. Sometimes you need a community or maybe a friend or somebody to help you, give you that helping hand or that voice or that hug that you need or something, some sense of any sense of communication. Sometimes even communication can be silent communication, for you to be able to, get to the point that you want to get to, that is in terms of taking your decision. And so that is the things that I meant in that chapter.
And I love that. And I love the way that you are talking about communication, because what I'm seeing is that okay, I wouldn't say problem, but the biggest challenge actually is communication. We do not know, we haven't been taught how to communicate how we feel, what we think, right? And mostly because of our upbringing, culture, certain beliefs of other people, because it's not our beliefs, right? And we are not taught how to express them. But lack of communication makes no good for no one, right? And even when you communicate, when you talk with yourself, to yourself, we haven't been taught how to do that either, because we talk negatively about ourselves and we create all kinds of stories in our mind. So yeah, I loved what you were saying. Communication is essential. Yes, it's true. Um, what do you mean when you talk about unity, Ivy? And also, just one thought about relationship and friends. You said that you need people around you. Yes, you need people around you to give you a hug and tell you, okay, Ivy, Christina, whatever your name is, you are doing good, you are doing great. So I love it. Hi, Dennis. Oh, yes, without darkness, we wouldn't recognize the light. Absolutely true. Thank you, Dennis, for watching us. That's beautiful. So when we get to the you from the hugs, what do you mean when you say unity?
Is then when I spoke about unity, it had to do with a lot of, as people, we bring our baggages from wherever we come from. And those baggages, we expect it that the people that we're gonna be in the same realm or the arena, that they have to understand us. So first you need to unite with yourself, with your own baggage, before you can be able to embrace another person's baggage. And once you start healing as well, this is another aspect of it. Once you start healing, then everything around you starts coming united with itself, because we have to, I don't know if you are familiar with the wheel of life.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
So the wheel of life, we address our, life as its totality. You address yourself, your life, money, all sorts of aspects of self. And then understanding each point from ourselves, so we can be able to as well to understand another person and then come to an understanding, so we can be able to unite among ourselves with self, with the environment, in terms of family environment and social environments, or even different, even religion environment where we go. So that's what it is.
I love the sentence when you said unite with yourself. I simply love it. I never heard that before. I'm gonna be very honest with you, but I love it. So I wrote it down. Unite with yourself, because that's something what not many of us are doing, really uniting with ourselves. And then moving a little bit forward, you talk about love, fear, and failure in your lives. In your life, sorry. Just in a nutshell. Just in a nutshell. What was the idea? How should I put it nicely? What do you think about love, about fear, and about failure?
For you to love, you need to, yes, there is fear in love. In anything that we do, there is fear. But once you can push through that, then you begin to see the light of it. And love, love is not only the way we see it these days. People think that love is just all about the good aspects. But loving somebody, for example, it is the bad aspects. You knowing that the person has all those baggages, can you be able to stand in the situations of, if that situation is collapsing, for example, a house collapsing, and then as well knowing what kind of language does that person have for you to be able to embrace love in itself. And as well, when difficult times come, can that love withstand? Because when difficult times come, that's where some people start getting divorced or other sense of other things. But in my own case, I see that in love, for you to be in love, you have to have a sense of forgiveness. If you're a believer, I'm a believer. So I always have a sense of forgiveness and understanding that there is levels of love, and there's a lot of levels. And not only that, there's avenues as well. So if you can be able to embrace all those avenues, then you begin to understand the sense of what love is actually truly is. It's not only good aspects, but it's good, the bad, and the ugly. Embrace each one.
I love what you're saying, guys, because, you know, sometimes people love, but it's very difficult, you know, to love properly or correctly. I don't know how to say that correctly in English, because the way how let's just take a very simple example, right? I love my partner and he loves me. I know that, but the way how he loves me, it's not maybe the way how I want to be loved. Okay, so I have my conception of how love should look like, feel like, taste like. Okay, but he has his own conception about love. Okay, he loves me. Okay, from the bottom of my, I love him from the bottom of my heart. Or I love my parents, my sister, my daughter, whatever. Okay, we love people, but we love them in our own way. And this love, it might not necessarily be the love how they would love to be loved, if that makes sense. Right? So this misunderstanding of, okay, I love you, no, you don't love me because you don't do this and that, okay, but I'm loving you in my own way. So again, communication, right? Understanding of self and, you know, what love means to one person or to other person. Again, it's important. And then the fear, you were talking about fear. Yes, love might come with fear, because sometimes people, when they love someone, they love something about that person because that person gives them something what they want. Again, very complicated, Christina, but makes sense.
Yes, you're making a lot of sense.
So okay, so but that's a whole other level.
Yes, that's a lot of topic. We can be here all night analyzing the whole.
Thing is that we have to accept and love ourselves first, right? With all the cracks, all the good and bad and in betweens. And when we get to the point to accept the whole who we really are, then we actually start to love others properly or in a right way. And then the fear will be less. Fear is again something, it's just an illusion, okay? Something what we create in our mind. Don't go there, Christina. Okay. You were talking about building success brick by brick, and I love this about you because you're an architect, doesn't know how you express yourself. So what do you mean by how did you actually build your success brick by brick, not step by step, brick by brick?
I think how I did it brick by brick was, you know, allowing myself each stage to be curious, because I'm a curious being since I was a child, and my upbringing was very curious as well. You know, my parents always allowed us to be curious, so we did a lot of things. So, and we traveled a lot, so that's what sparked our curiosity. And as well, having siblings as well, because I have 6 siblings. We are six in we are 6 in the whole. So, you know, the dynamics was always that dynamics of being, you know, always seeking for the unknown, you know. So, but the brick by brick is each stage, there was something that was happening each stage with my life. So each stage I embraced it with personal development. So I'm somebody that likes to study a lot. So that's why I have a lot of hats, because each stage required me studying about something else that didn't have nothing to do with what I was doing. And then by that time, now you see the full aspect of it, how it came all together. Because sometimes people will ask me, why are you so confused? But I didn't think I was confused, to be sincere. I thought I was curious. But now when you put it all together, it starts to make sense, you know, and I needed it as well for my healing too. Yeah, because that's what actually helped me to heal, to be sincere. Because if I wasn't an architect, and thinking of as an architect and working the way the architects work in terms of the dynamics of it, and being a woman, we have that dynamic of how we juggle things. I think my journey was smoother because of that.
I love what you're saying about, learning and studying and being curious, right? And I know this. I give it a name. I call it imposter syndrome. And you know why? I've been there too. I felt that I'm never good enough. I'm never ready. I still have to learn something. I was good and I'm good in different things. And I'm sure that you have diplomas and certificates that you can fill the whole wall.
Exactly.
I'm like that. And I know people who are like that. But at a certain point, we have to stop. We are good enough. We are good enough. We are worthy. And yes, I know exactly what you're talking about, because you feel this urge that by studying, by educating yourself, by wanting being curious and wanting to know more and more, that you, oh my God, I don't know anything. And then you want to know more and more. But at certain, okay, I'm not saying stop completely. I'm saying stop being this I'm not good enough type of person. And I had to learn that myself. Yes, now when I study or when I learn something, I do it for my own pleasure,
Yes.
because I want to grow. My heart, my soul wants to grow. And I think you are on that stage. But I know I've been on the stage, what you were talking about, when you had the feeling that you always have to learn something new. And being an architect, I suppose, I don't know, I'm not an architect, but I suppose you are very structural. Everything needs to have a structure, right?
Yes, indeed.
And
indeed.
if there is no structure, oh my God, it's chaos.
The building collapses.
The building collapses, but that's not the truth. So this is what we have to accept,
Exactly.
right? Because as you said, the puzzle pieces, all what you've learned and studied, at one point, it all will make sense. Everything makes sense. There's nothing. Everything is just an experience, and it's like a puzzle piece in your life, right? In your past, basically. And at one point, that puzzle piece is gonna fit somewhere. Everything is gonna fit somewhere, and I love that.
That's how
Now,
you build
I
your
didn't
home.
love. We love that now. We didn't love that a couple of years ago. We were like, oh, but yes. So okay, here we go. Oh, thank you. Yes, indeed, we need the light, likewise, to influencing others on the right trajectory as humanitarian society. Absolutely, I completely agree with that. There is one thing, I mean, there are many things in your book, though. I can say you're thinking about, let me find the word. Okay, it's called neurographic, correct me if it's not correct, okay? Neurographic art.
Yes.
Now, what's that, Ivy? What is neurographic art? How helps, what it does, and how did you come across I'm gonna say it, neurographic art?
Yeah. I came across when I was trying to heal myself, in my journey. So I was trying to figure out what those architects do, how can I merge it, how can I actually even bring it into the coaching industry. So I stumbled with a fellow colleague that is he himself as well. He's an architect himself and a psychologist.
Oh my God, that's a nice combination.
And he's a Russian architect and psychologist, and he as well, he deals with music as well, and this is the things that I'm passionate about. So I saw him speaking, and I totally related, because when I was going through my ordeal in the depression, when I was always in the bed, I always saw stars, but I didn't understand what was the stars I was seeing, to be sincere. But I know it meant something, but I didn't understand what it was. And that is always when I was staring at the ceiling. And so that's why I like to lie down a lot, so I can see those stars, because it was pleasant to see in the midst of my ordeal, you know. And so that is the kind of thing it is. So it's all about going deeping down into your subconscious mind that is asleep, and bringing it, waking it up in your artistic side. So you begin to see different compartments of things that you or issues or wants you want to address. Then you begin to see it, and then it wakes up in a way, the way I explain it. It wakes you up, and then you see those compartments in different bubbles. And then you have to designate colors, because with color, our world is much better. Yeah, and I'm somebody that used to see things in black and white. I like to see things in black and white because I was drawn to it. So I had to push myself as well out from that box of the melancholy, because I'm a very melancholic person. Because as an architect, sometimes you have to operate from that aspect to be able to be functional and create beautiful things from the state of melancholic. So that is a way to address things non-melancholic way. So you can be able to as well to heal in that aspect. So it was very interesting. So I formed myself, and I actually ended up, getting the certification, and it has been quite a journey. And I would like to embrace people in society with that in English language, because it's in Russian language. And that is 4 years ago. So now, because it's a very new method and the tool, so we are bringing it now into the English-speaking countries and different languages, so people can begin to see and heal from the state of art, and pushing each other to the world and connecting, because art connects people, So that is the aspect.
True, and I'm loving it. And oh my God, I'm so happy. Congratulations. I mean, yes, something new, something innovative. And you said in your book that neurographic art heals your soul. And the way how you put it, actually, it sounds very interesting. So you see images in your mind and you put colors, and then you basically draw it on a paper. Wow, that's something really, really interesting. Honestly, I've never heard that before. I'm absolutely sure that it's something which can help people who are willing to go really deep, bringing out. Basically, they can draw their own house, the life house, or I don't know how to say that, right?
Yes, they can draw their own psychological house.
That's the word.
And the emotional house, in terms of what they're feeling, and pushing themselves forward from the state of whatever state they were in, and pushing it. If it's the state of pain, they push themselves in the state of happiness. And then they begin to ease up if they're suffering from depression, if they're suffering from anxiety, stress, burnout. So it eases up. And in the work I'm doing actually in corporate at the moment is helping individuals and themselves to relax before they go to meetings, difficult meetings, and then even if they're in the difficult meetings, how themselves they can be able to relax within the meeting, not to be able to have that outburst. So it helps them. It's like a kind of doodle before you do your things. So it eases up, relaxes it.
But that sounds really, really wonderful. And you are also a certified emotional geographer. So, okay, we agree that you have a lot of certification and degrees. Nowadays, let's say today, after you went all through the experiences, all what life gave you, good and bad, right? After you started the path of healing and healing yourself, and I would say maybe the path of spirituality. Am I right? I think,
yes,
right?
I had to.
What is it that you can offer, or how do you help clients, and where actually they can find you? I'm going to put everything down, but just.
And the clients, they can find me through my LinkedIn page, or my website, that is www.hugscoaching.com. And they can find me as well in Facebook as well, is the same. So between Facebook as well, or by email. So it's just inboxing me in one of them places, and then I can be able to, engage with them, or they can book through Calendly as well, but it's just, it's a friendly approach. It's not I would like to consider it as a conversation. It's not like some other services, the one as well that I've been through myself, that is very, it's not friendly. It's not
I ask and you answer. Yeah, I know.
It's not friendly. So, so we actually conduct as a friend, as a friendship, and then not as a practitioner, but as a friend, friendly approach. And then we begin to address issues that are very, very deep in itself, and recreating those issues, and re-engineering it in different manner, without saying that to the person, or this is what is happening to you. No, there's different ways of approach. And I myself, I like to listen to what people are not saying. And because sometimes people don't say what they say is not what they mean. And yeah, and you can see that in the body language. And yeah, so that as well is part of one of the services I do as well in terms of volunteering, because I do volunteer for charity and as a support, as a phone support. And it's very lovely to have those conversations with people that are lonely at home, and you get to see different stages of life, people that have gone through, that older crowd. There's so much wisdom, and you yourself, you begin to understand that life is a journey. We're supposed to appreciate each stage for what it is, because if we don't, we are missing the point.
True. I love what you're saying. I love. And please, guys, don't forget Ivy's book, Hug, How I Found My Eagle Eye. You can find it on Amazon. We are going to put the Amazon links in the comments. So please, it's a really amazing reading. It's courageous. You've been very bold, and you dared greatly, really, with this book. So I honestly, I highly recommend that. And yeah, I am personally looking forward, to see you growing more and more and more into the next book and the next book, because life has different chapters, right? So with this book, you started a chapter. Okay, let's say this book is chapter 1. Then it comes another one. There's going to be the second one and the second one, and this is how we grow and we move forward all the time. And I also love when you were talking about this new graphic art, which is, you said it's new, it's a new technique. That's again something what I really would highly recommend guys to try it out with Ivy. I love you, Ivy.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I could stay and talk with you forever here, because we just hardly talk about anything. But before we close today, I would love to ask you, is there any message? What would you love to share with our audience today who are listening now live? Thank you guys for being here with us live, or watching us, in the replay.
I would like to say to embrace each stage of life, embrace it, embrace and hug it as if you're hugging a human being. Because there's nothing like you looking at yourself and hugging yourself while you look at yourself in the mirror, understanding that you have come a long way, and then with a smile in the end, seeing that lovely smile, you smiling, the reflection of yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror, smiling while embracing yourself, that is a big step. Because once you can have that and have that sensation of what being hugged is about, then once you step outside your house or wherever you are, you can begin to see light and even begin to smile to people, because smiling is for free. It's a free. So once you can do that, you can be able to smile to other people, and other people can begin to have that sense of, that you're giving them a small little gesture or small little token, because not everything is money, and not everything you know. So just you having that aspect and smiling to another human being, you're already beginning to build. You don't even know if you're building another person's home by giving that person the gift of a smile because you embraced yourself before and while looking yourself in the mirror before you exited your own house.
I love that, Ivy. I absolutely love it. So give yourself a hug, give everybody else a hug and a smile. It costs you nothing. Hug, healing, unity, and growth. I think we all deserve a hug, right? We all deserve to heal. We all can be healed, united, and we all are here to grow. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being with me today, Ivy. And thank you guys for being with us, giving us so many likes and hearts today. I'm loving it. I love what I do. I'm going to put Ivy's website and the Amazon link where you can buy the book in the comments below. And thank you very much for being with us. I'm going to see you next time. Bye, guys.
You know?